family, and welcome to another episode of Role Model Makers Experts Cafe. I'm your host, Dr. L, the Parent Whisperer, and today with me, I have an amazing human being, Mr. Jay DuSold. Did I say that correctly, Jay? I just wanted to.
Perfect. Absolutely, yes.
And Jay has been in our community. I like what he does, and I think it's important for parents to actually kind of tune in and be aware of this. Sometimes things are not on our radar until it's too late. So I figured it's an important thing for you guys to know about it. So Jay, thank you and welcome to the show. Thank you for being part of this and taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. And audience members, thank you for tuning in. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you do, and why you do what you do? And we'll go from there.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. L, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I'm so glad to share my passion with your community. So I'm a next-gen career guide. I specialize in helping teens and young 20s understand how they're wired for work so that they can select a job that matches and experience success and motivation and fulfillment in the career that they wind up choosing. So yeah, that's kind of the passion of mine.
Awesome. I always like seeing kids have the light bulb go on because that like literally changes the course of where they go in the rest of their lives.
Yes.
It's a really powerful thing to witness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you get involved in this?
Yeah, so I had my own bad experience. Back in 1989, I was a freshman in college. I was the first one to go to college in my family. I didn't really have any guidance. I was told you'll always be better off earning a degree. And so I thought, well, I'll have to go to college. So I just tried to figure it out. And I said, you know what? I like looking at buildings and I like interior design space. So of course I decided, well, I should be an architect then. Shortly into the program, I realized, oh my gosh, there's a lot more to this than what I thought. And it turned out that it really would not be a good idea to stay in that pursuit. So I kind of had a crisis of my future, hit a very dark time actually of my life, just feeling stressed and anxious and depressed. And will I ever find my place? How will I know? So I kind of had my own negative experience. And then 25 years later, 2014, our oldest son is a junior in high school, Dr. L, and he's trying to figure out what to do with his life and how to get direction. And I had all those feelings again at that crossroads. Not for myself this time, but for my son, Justin. And so I started trying to research solutions. I didn't find a whole lot that I really felt I could trust for such a big decision. And so long story short, I kind of created my own. And when it worked with my son, I said, you know what? I know there's so many other young people out there who are facing the same thing. I literally decided to leave my 25-year career at that point and venture out into the world as a next-gen career guide to help other young people.
Jay, your story there's so many parallels between your experience and my experience growing up.
Okay.
I was the same. I was shining and doing really well in high school. And then when I went to college, just a really dark time for me because I had trouble figuring out my place in the world and how I could contribute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What my interest is. I had difficulty choosing a major, like all of those. And I know that there are people who actually literally fall out of school and drop out and all kinds of other things. So really, really powerful thing that you're talking about. And from my experience, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this seems to be a little bit on the rise over the past decade or two. It seems like kids are struggling more and more with their identity and choosing their path basically as they leave home and start looking into college.
Yeah, I have to totally agree with you. I would say at this point, my belief, and just from kind of, doing it for almost a decade now, I would say probably 98% of young people are truly confused and uncertain about what to do. Very, very small percentage really have a sense they've got some provenness in that area. But even for the majority that look like they have it figured out, or they can give a very quick answer when they're asked, oh, so what are you doing after you graduate high school? And they can, come up with an answer. I've learned that does not mean that they really have it figured out. Most of them actually don't. So yes, you're absolutely right. We're seeing a growing number of students who are feeling overwhelmed by options. That's a huge issue, right? With technology, new emerging fields almost overnight, the access to hear about all this stuff, all that's weighing in. on them, and it's causing that added level of confusion and overwhelm. So yeah, it's increasingly getting more problematic for sure.
I was once told that when you go into a meeting, like a negotiation, it should already be figured out. It's just to formalize it. So you do all of your negotiation beforehand. You just meet at the negotiation table to kind of finalize it and make it official. And it seems that for many of the kids, the general approach is, well, isn't that what the college is for them to go through these 4 years and figure that out?
Yeah.
So
No, the short answer is no. That's not a good strategy. Yeah, I mean there's ways to actually figure it out beforehand, and that's why I became so excited, because I found a solution working with a unique story-based assessment tool that was used in corporate and executive realms for over 40 years. And I kind of went after the owner who created this thing, and I said, I want to take your tool to young people. This is what they need for future guidance, not just for companies to make sure that they're hiring the right CEO next, or that their a particular division is really efficient because the people are in the right place. What if we use the power of this tool to actually help young people predict fits accurately? And so that's what I did, and that's kind of I had a blessing of the guy who created it, and kind of went forward with it. But to your point exactly, Dr. L, we're able to really predict those fits and really get a good sense while students are still in high school. So whatever required thing is next, we know it's serving an end destination. And that's the beauty of what I do, is we can figure that out, and then it just makes sense where whatever is next will serve that end destination. So I always tell parents, who in their right mind would purchase a plane ticket before knowing where their conference is? Right? I don't know, unless you're super adventurous and really don't care about getting to the conference. Like most of us intuitively know that transportation serves destination, that we don't invest in the means of getting somewhere until we first know where that end result is. Right. And so it's a great analogy for what happens with most young people today. They run off to college or other types of preparation without knowing really what's at the end. And unfortunately, it results in a lot of wasted time, money, and effort, and never actually getting to that place where they can reach their full potential.
Jay, you actually pointed or hit on two important things. One is that this can be done before. So, and you mentioned high school. I'm not sure if it can be done even earlier than that. So that's one part. The other part is the fun and the story part of it, which actually is not like one more chore or one more task that now parents are put on their plate, basically. So tell us a little bit more about, first of all, what are some of the challenges when clients come to you? What are some of the red flags that the parents should kind of look for? And it's like, oh, you know what, this might be a J situation where I need to contact them and figure out how to address this sooner rather than later. So that would be the first part.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So I always encourage parents. There's two things that the parents should look for. Number one is that their kid really is not sure about what to do in what I call life after 12. Right. You know, there's some kind of sign, either a direct conversation or you've overheard them talking about that. But there has to be a clear awareness on the part of the young person that they don't have it figured out. And then secondly, there has to be some type of expression that they're actually interested in figuring it out. Sometimes I'll have parents connect with me and they learn about what I do, and they're really eager to have their son or daughter start the process. And I always kind of connect with the student first. And sometimes, Dr. L, I get a very different feel from the young person. They're like, oh, no, I'm good. I don't really need this. And so I always make sure that parents know that there should be both things present: an awareness that they don't really know, but also a desire expressed that they actually would like to figure it out and do something about feeling lost and stuck and confused.
Right. Okay. That's significant. Now, on the side of kids, what are the challenges that they have to overcome so that they can start stepping into this self-discovery and clarification for themselves?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things. Number one is They have to be convinced that they have an inner wiring, and aspects of that inner wiring do directly relate to career direction. And so the first thing is to encourage young people to say, like, the trustworthy guide, the trustworthy compass to leading you somewhere that's going to be awesome for you, that trustworthy guide is in you. It's your wiring. And every young person has it. You know, sometimes students, and you know this, Dr. Ellen, from your work, they take hits on their self-esteem, and they have things that happen to them that they falsely interpret as something's wrong with me. And a lot of my work is mindset stuff. And a lot of what I'm doing is just trying to convince young people early on that whatever these experiences are that you've had, maybe a poor academic experience, most times it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's what's right with you that wasn't fitting the system you were in or the context you were in. And sometimes just hearing that, Dr. L, makes a young person say, oh, wow, I never thought it just might be an issue of my environment that wasn't lining up well with me. Right. And just that alone sometimes helps them start regaining confidence in who they are and their identity, and kind of rebuild that self-esteem. So I think that's the first thing for young people, is just realize there is wiring in you that can lead you to what I call your awesome somewhere. Every young person is designed to be awesome somewhere. It's just a matter of figuring out where.
That is a huge mindset shift. I know most of us as adults, we kind of learn this as we go into our middle ages, basically. Yeah. And you're fast tracking this by a good 25 years easily, basically. So that's really amazing for us to step the right way into adulthood, basically. Not the right way as if there's a right and a wrong way, but a way that enables you in your 20s and 30s to actually have more purpose, more fulfillment. Absolutely. What you're doing. So that's really important. So cool. So what would be the one tip, the takeaway that parents watching this could actually go ahead and implement and move forward with their families and their children's future?
Yeah, that's great. So two things. Number one is speak. I call it the awesome somewhere blessing. Okay. And the awesome somewhere blessing that I want to challenge every parent to speak over your child today is simply this: I love you, I believe in you, and I know you can be awesome somewhere, right? Just speak that word of blessing over your kids today. I love you, I'm for you, and I know that you can be awesome somewhere. All right. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, more practical as far as like tactics or strategy, when your child is thinking about a job, thinking about career future, one of the biggest and most simplest things that you can do as a parent is encourage them to really understand what that career of interest actually involves. Dr. L, I can't tell you how many young people will embrace a career future, a career path, choose a career, and not know a whole lot about it. And then what happens is they start down a preparation path. This was my story, right? I selected architecture because I knew it involved buildings and space, and interior design was part of that. So I knew some subjects that were involved, but I did not have a thorough understanding of the job. And when I went into college, architect major, started taking architectural design classes, I realized then that there was so much more involved that actually wasn't a good fit for me, that weren't part of my strengths, that were just things I really wouldn't actually like. And so the simplest, biggest step I can encourage parents to take is really encourage your kids, help them understand what's fully involved in a career that they're interested in. And real simple, there's 4 basic things. Know what all of the required skills are in that job. Know what I call the substances, meaning what would you be working with on a regular basis in that job? And then the third thing is the setting. Like, what environment is where this work actually unfolds? What is the setting like, right? So skills, substance, setting. And then the last thing is just really understand the outcome. So when you think about doing this job, what is the outcome? Like if you're a school teacher, you get to pass on knowledge to children. If you're a welder, you fabricate or repair metal objects that get used in society. Very different outcomes. Just knowing the outcome can make one particular job more attractive or of interest than the other. And so that's the biggest thing and most helpful thing is for parents, make sure your kids understand the whole job, a holistic awareness of what's involved, skills, substance, setting, and then the outcome.
Absolutely. Actually, you mentioned a whole bunch, the affirmations, and that in itself is very, very important in prices. So thank you for sharing that. When you mentioned that, I remembered a friend of mine that she was really good at decorations and organization. And she actually was considering becoming a wedding planner, but she really enjoyed the freedom to travel and being spontaneous about it. And she's like, if I become a wedding planner, people plan their weddings a year in advance, and I'm locked into those dates. And the more successful I become, the less freedom I end up having. So she opted against it. But that is something that we want for our kids, to be able to not have to go through the path of becoming successful in something they're not even interested in.
Right. Exactly.
Very, very important. Awesome. So Jay, I know that you have a lot of resources, a lot of support, and there's a lot more to be discussed on this, because this is not self-discovery, especially for kids. This is not an overnight thing. Any parent can say that. So how can people connect with you and learn more about what you do and look for support?
Yeah, there's two basic ways. One is the website, which will allow you kind of have an overview of the coaching work I do, and that's lifeafter12th.com, lifeafter12th.com. But what's more of interest to me, Dr. L, is to just get your audience into a Facebook community where they can be cared for. So I do have a Facebook group. It's by the same name, lifeafter12th.com. Life After 12th is the name of the Facebook group. We have a few thousand parents in there who are all looking to really ensure that their kids get to a career that's successful, motivating, and fulfilling. I do weekly live training. There's tons of free resources, questions. So it's my way that I can say, hey, parents, if you're concerned about this, come be with us and get help, get support, get encouragement.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And yeah, that support makes the biggest difference, because knowledge is out there and people can Google it, but having the community, having the support really matters. So parents, first and foremost, I want to make sure that you role model the behavior and show the kids that it is okay not to have all the answers, and it is okay to reach out and connect to other people. By checking the description, I'm going to put all the information that Jay has provided in the description box. Connect with him, look for support, and support your children in the process as well. And role model the behavior. Also, if you have not already done so, make sure you click subscribe so you get notifications of all the experts like Jay that come on this channel, share their expertise and their passions with you, share their gifts, and in the process, you'll benefit and you'll be more connected as well. And lastly, Jay, thank you so much. This information is really important, especially as we want our kids to lead happy and full lives. And we want to set them up for success. So you're doing just that. Any final words for our audience members before we finish?
I can't emphasize the power of words and parents speaking words. One of my favorite ancient wisdom literature quotes is, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so I just want to encourage all the listening parents, like, speak those good things over your kids, encourage them. No young person has ever said, Mom, Dad, please stop with the encouragement. You're overwhelming me with encouragement, right? And listen, we're the same way, right? Dr. L, as adults, like we can't get enough encouragement. So parents, speak good things over your kids about their future. Encourage them.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me be here. Appreciate it, Dr. L.
Absolutely. Until next time. Cheers.